6 months, highlighting a decline in public trust and controversies over selective prosecutions and governance inconsistencies.
Imani sentiment analysis reveals that the government faced a dramatic perception crisis in the first 6 months. The first part of the 6 months, there was a lot of cautious optimism, but that has been reduced down the line because of issues like Galamsey, arrests and arbitrary arrests of opposition party members, and of course, the issue with the judges.
We speak to government for a response on this. Our top story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel Connect and Energies and also by Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. My name is Samuel Kojo Bruce. Now, Ghana's political landscape is experiencing a dramatic shift over the past 6 months, with the NDC government's initial wave of optimism giving way to growing discontent among Ghanaians. Fresh report by Imani Ghana reveals a dramatic transformation in public opinion of the President John Dramani Mahama's administration's performance. Now, the report highlights a decline in public trust, citing controversies over selective prosecutions, mass dismissals, and governance inconsistencies. The NDC government started with a strong positive sentiment, around 65 to 70%, following President Mahama's inauguration and the launch of the Resetting Ghana agenda. However, according to a report, the optimism began to falter in March, with sentiment becoming sharply divided. Now, the government's mass dismissals of public sector workers and President Mahama the nickname Terminator One, which fueled perceptions of political vindictiveness. Negative perceptions also rose due to the controversies like the private jet scandal, Operation Recover or Loot, Oral, which faced doubt over selective justice, arrest of MPP critics, often in Rambo-style operations with vague charges, and dropping corruption cases against NDC members. Well, let's get more on this particular research. We're joined via Zoom by the Vice President of Imani, Selam Brantier, for a breakdown of the Imani Pulse report. Selam, grateful to you for joining us here. Now, first tell us about the methodology that you adopted in gathering the data. Hello, Salam.
Okay. Yeah, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. So I wanted you to take us through the methodology that you adopted in gathering the data.
Yes, so good evening to your listeners and to the general public, listening public. Yes, so we have been doing this Imani Pulse since last year, basically getting views from social media. So basically what we do is that we do what we call scouring social media pages using automated tools and AI tools, basically because you cannot get everybody's reaction off of the internet. But what you can do is that there are certain statistically designed models that are run on algorithms that you are able to use to pick out information that has been posted. So some of the pages that we monitor are the big news spaces, like, for example, like Joy News's Facebook page, as well as its Twitter handle. And then we also have very ranked, social media influencers whose pages are monitored. And then what happens is that when these news items come up or when these issues come up, we are able to download all the comments and reactions, and what we do is that we filter them according to the language and according to what we call the sentiment, whether the sentiment is positive or negative. So this is still new technology, or this is still technology that is being evolved, but it is getting more and more accurate at defining feelings when people put out certain comments. And so where the comments cannot be really determined or understood, then they are perceived as neutral. But where the comment is overly positive, then you'd see something like the NDC government is doing very well. Kudos to the government. Such a sentence is definitely in the positive direction. Or if there's something like the government is not doing anything with regards to Galamsey. Very clearly, it is negative. So we have a model that is able to take all of that and then siphon the information and distill it to look at the frequency of those who give out positive, clearly positive sentiments, and then clearly negative sentiments. And so we used that historical approach to tackle or to gather data on people's responses and people's posts, as well as news items that were very topical from January all the way to June to come up with this report.
I mean, how representative are these views if it's from social media, and whether or not we are able to tell whether this is coming from an NDC inclined person or an NDC inclined person?
Well, so like I said, most of it comes from they are randomly what do you call it? Randomly picked from
Okay.
different things. But what we normally do is that we use what we call mentions. So there are certain keywords that are very important when we are doing this. So some of the keywords for this particular research was where you would see the mention of NDC or President John Mahama or NDC government or a hashtag that is like, let's say, a hashtag that is associated with NDC related posts or any posts as such. So because we're looking at the performance of the NDC government, the keywords that we used are posts that contained NDC, NDC government, or President John Mahama or President Mahama or John Mahama. Those were the major keywords that we used to extract the kind of post that came. So when you have it like that, then you know that the context of the discussion is centered solely on the party or the government in power and its perception. So through that, you can even glean some hashtags that are being used. So, for example, issues then related to oral, issues then related to Galamsey, issues then related to the private jet, as you've talked about, issues then related to the arrests of certain key opposition members or certain key members of public, issues that were related to what do you call it, the changing of several appointees in different organizations. All of those came up in some of those posts, and then from there we're then able to then say that okay, if these were the posts that were there, then we distilled the feelings or how people perceived or how people reacted to these. So you cannot definitely tag somebody as MPP or NDC because some people might say something about one particular topic and say something else about another topic. So, for example, with the issue of oral, most of those who were very optimistic in the beginning or around the beginning time of the survey or no of the analysis, I would say, between January and March, maybe to April, were very optimistic about the prospects of oral. Then somewhere after April down to June and even till now, there is now a bit of what you'd call impatience around whether oral is really going to deliver or not. So you cannot say, for example, that this person is purely NDC or purely NPP. But basically, based on the kinds of comments that come and the frequency of the comments, then these sentiments are picked up if more and more of the comments are skewed towards one direction or the other, just so that the insights can be gleaned.
So was the distrust or the I mean the trust in oral, which is weakening, is it influenced by the cases that the attorney general dropped that people perceive to have been cases associated with NDC people?
So that was one aspect of it. The I think somewhere in April or so there were some cases that the Attorney General announced were going to be dropped. The chief among them was that of
I mean, we had
uh,
Collins Dowda issue, we had a Stephen Oponi case, to force,
yes,
and then that of Kwabena Dufo.
Ketela Force and
But
Komna
but but
Dufour's
but
case.
KCL's case
Yes,
was dealt with by the courts. Was it also
yes.
part?
Yes, so that one didn't have as much traction as the others. It was some of the others that really hit the traction. KCL's case was just discussed because most people had it mentioned, but the most of the negative perceptions were rather on the other cases. But even beyond that, some of it has also been on the perceived inaction in terms of prosecuting some of the other new cases or scandals that have come up. Chief among them being the seeming lack of information or progress on an issue like the NSB, that's the National
Signals Bureau. The
Signals
national.
Bureau issue, the what do you call it, the National Service issue, as well as a few others. And of course, there was at a time, I think somewhere late May, early June, around the time when the controversy around the OSP's designation of the former Finance Minister Kenneth as a fugitive, the declaration of him as a fugitive, and put him on the red list on the what do you call it, on the Interpol's list. So those were some of the issues that really came up very strongly, and people beginning to think that, well, there's nothing going on, so they are beginning to lose trust.
Okay.
Whether it was the fact that their cases are not being prosecuted or brought to court, or the people are not seemingly being brought to book. Those were the things that were happening. Some of the biggest issues also was the arrest of people like Chairman Wuntumi, etc., which had a lot of comments, both positive and negative. But when you look at the sentiments, you could say that it was. I wouldn't use the word balance, because as many positives as there were also negative comments about that.
Okay.
Possibly because of the way people would even write how they feel about it, and then also the fact that some of these issues are polarizing, where you have a lot of party faithfuls on social media commenting more.
All right, Salam, do stay with me. I'll come back to you for us to deal more on the lessons the government can pick from. But I have been joined on the line by the Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwachofo. So I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us here. Now, first, what's your impression about the findings by Imani?
Well, let me indicate that as a general principle, we value feedback and do appreciate efforts by civil society and other actors within society to draw attention to what perceptions people hold about government and its activities. I must also indicate that because we value feedback, we also have our own tools that we use to assess public perceptions and how the public receives what we do as a government. There are many of the issues that have been raised that require further probing. For instance, the matter of prosecutions and the general execution of oral. The Attorney General has, at least on 4 or 5 different occasions, updated the public on the progress of work regarding oral. On the NSB case, for instance, everybody in Ghana knows that that matter is in court, and therefore it is the court that dictates how the case runs. Currently, the judiciary is on a legal vacation, and therefore cases cannot be heard. When they return, that case will resume. There's one other case that is in court regarding the Sky Train, and in all, there are 7 people who are standing trial. Over 80 people have been investigated. Dockets have either been built or are in the process of being built in 20 different cases. And when the judiciary returns from the legal vacation, many more cases will go to court. The Attorney General has publicly updated the public on this one. Regarding the matter involving Kenneth, that is a matter that the OSP is handling, and therefore government is constrained to intervene. When there is a need to look into other matters relating to Kenneth, that will be done, as has been the case in all the instances where allegations of corruption have been leveled against people. If you take the National Cathedral, for instance, I announced on behalf of government that a forensic audit is being conducted into the matter. Once that report is presented and government reviews it, action will be taken where it is necessary. So government is very serious about oral, except that, as the president indicated during his media interaction, there's a need to follow due process so that in a bid to fight corruption, we also do not abuse the rights of citizens, which is important. As a government, we are minded to respect that, and that is precisely what we are doing. But generally, any assessment that draws our attention to perceptions and the thinking of the general public is welcome.
Okay.
We will draw lessons where necessary and take remedial measures when we have to.
You mentioned earlier that you have your own system of measuring the perception of the public on the performance of the government. What's your system telling you about how the public see the government?
there is general satisfaction about how government is performing. You can look at the matters on their merits on an issue by issue basis. But generally, the improvements in the economy have been felt by all. And every person engaging in an honest assessment would concede that things are much better today than they were at the beginning of the year in January or February when we took over. So these tools are available to us, and periodically we gauge public perceptions where there are difficulties, as is the case in the fight against galamsey. We continue to take measures to ensure that we overcome it, so the public can follow what we are doing and appreciate that we are working to alleviate the difficulties that particular canker poses.
Well, but in terms of job creation, I mean, a lot of Ghanaians were dismissed, and we can't say all of them were politically affiliated. But do you accept that it created some state of panic among the public, because that also informed the sentiment that Imani surveyed?
We know that the new Patriotic Party made noise about that. So that in itself does not show that the entire generality of Ghanaians are unhappy. Regarding that particular matter, you recall that during the transition, we publicly stated our position that the MPP, after he lost office, hurriedly bypassed lay-down processes and packed the civil service with persons affiliated with their party. Now, that is even not a problem. The fact that they are affiliated with the MPP is not an issue.
But you can't say all of the people are affiliated of the MPP.
They bypassed lay-down processes. They had 8 years to employ everybody that they needed to employ. Yet they lost elections, and within a matter of a month, they had railroaded people into the civil service without recourse to due process. We issued public statements indicating our opposition to this and our willingness to take action to correct that wrongdoing. As I speak to you, there is a revocation committee set up under the auspices of the Chief of Staff, which is perusing all the cases on their merits. And where it is found that due process was not followed, the dismissals will stand. But where it is shown that due process is followed, those people will be reinstated. So it is important that the matters are understood and not taken to mean that government has anything against any group of persons simply because they've secured employment. We are a country governed by rules. So you cannot bypass the lay-down process and unfairly tilt the process in favor of persons aligned to one political party or the other. That is all that has happened.
So you're saying that those who were employed in November, their processes are being all the dismissals are being looked at.
There's a revocation committee that has membership drawn from various sectors of society. Organized labor is represented, employers are represented, people within the civil service hierarchy are represented. So once they are done and they present their reports, government will act on it. But as for the fact that due process was bypassed and Ghanaian law vandalized by the MPP, just so they can railroad people into the civil service upon losing elections. That is a fact which we raised at the very beginning of the transition process.
But that also has affected the public trust, which is waning in your government.
Again, we dispute the claim that has affected public trust. I don't think that there's any public anywhere in the world that will be opposed to their government doing the right thing. That MPP supporters make noise does not mean that the entire public is unhappy about it. How can the public be unhappy that government is doing the right thing?
Well, on oral, I mean, just recently we heard your General Secretary, Fifi Kwete, saying that some people within your government are cutting deals. How can you assure the people of Ghana that, in fact, people will be punished for engaging in corrupt practices? Because people say that has affected how they trusted government to deal with corruption.
What has affected how people trust government?
When your General Secretary says people are trying to cut deals.
When the president of the country tells you that he, as a president, who the buck stops with, is not going to permit anybody to interfere in the process, you don't think that is assuring enough?
Well, the survey points otherwise, that Ghanaians don't trust that the government can deal with corruption.
That is completely untrue. Ghanaians have seen Edu Buahin stand trial. It is government itself that came out to announce that it was putting Edu Buahin on trial. It is government itself that came out that it is putting those involved in the SkyTrain matter on trial and have put them on trial. Government announced that charges will be preferred against the National Service scheme scandal perpetrators, and many others that are ongoing. So I don't think that it is fair to say that the public has lost trust when these trials are ongoing. We also do know that because of the way our legal system works, persons accused of wrongdoing must be taken through due process. You cannot summarily jail or imprison an individual on the basis of accusations that they've done wrong. They must go through a legal process. So that legal process takes time. Indeed, this is the earliest in recent memory that members of the previous government have been taken to court on allegations of corruption.
Okay.
It is the earliest in recent memory.
So you don't believe the government has lost any goodwill?
We don't expect that 100% of Ghanaians will support the government. By all means, there are members of the opposition who will be unhappy that persons who served in the government that they formed have been taken to court. So they will criticize government, they will make noise, they will write, they will say things. All that feeds into the sentiment. But you cannot draw conclusive, judgments on the basis of what members of the opposition say. For instance, when Wuntumi was arrested, who were the ones making noise? Members of parliament went to sit on the floor at Yoko to protest his arrest. But due process was followed. Very soon, charges will be referred against him in the Akunta mining case. When he goes to court, members of the MPP will make noise. They will criticize it. It does not mean that government has done wrong and that the generality of the Ghanaian people are opposed to prosecuting Wuntumi, who has been accused of wrongdoing.
Okay, but if you take that of the MPP people aside and you take the neutrals plus your people, you are still saying that if those are estimated to be 100%, you are still having that 100% goodwill.
We believe that Ghanaians support the government in many of the things that it is doing. Again, I don't know how any neutral can say that they take offense at the prosecution of Kwabena Dubois, for instance.
Okay.
How can any neutral be offended by that? How can a neutral be offended that Wuntumi, who the neutrals themselves accused of engaging in illegal mining through Akunta Mining Limited,
okay,
has been put on trial? How can a neutral be angry about that?
All right.
How can a neutral be angry that persons who are using social media to foment hate speech, tribal sentiments, and are threatening to kill the president and behead his wife have been taken through due process? The MPP, by all means, for partisan reasons, will protest, and that is allowed. But I don't think that we can say that because they have said those things, then the generality of Ghanaians suddenly are angry at government.
Okay, Felix, I'm
the
grateful
same
to you.
Ghanaians who voted for this government to undertake the oral program cannot be angry that the government is undertaking the program.
I'm grateful to you, Felix Kwacho Fosu. He is Minister of State in charge of Government Communication. Salam Branche. So you've listened to government. How do you expect them to take this, and how do you expect them to react to this? I mean, the minister has spoken, but in terms of working on it to, say, regain some of the lost trust, even though the minister is disagreeing, how do you expect them to react? Hello, Salam. Salam, do I have
hello.
you? Great.
Yeah,
so I'm asking that. I don't know if you heard my question. I wanted to find out from you.
Yeah, I did.
Great. Okay. So what's your reaction?
Yeah. I just listened to the minister, and his reactions are what I would have expected, or I would expect from someone in his position. Of course, he is addressing some of the direct concerns that people in the public have, especially with the perceptions around inaction on certain key areas. And I believe that even from January till June until now, some of these issues still persist and are still on the public's radar. The issue is that there was a very robust campaign period last year, which meant that, and one of the biggest battlegrounds for exchange of ideas and debates or topics or whatever you decide to call it, was on social media. And so because of that, the expectations, especially because of the rhetoric that was dominant during the campaign period, was that they wanted to see a lot of decisive action taken in certain key areas. So, for example, between February, March, and April, when the CD appreciated highly against the dollar, there were a lot of positive sentiments around that. When the government immediately came and took over abolishing certain nuisance taxes, etc., the positive goodwill was swelling. It is just that now, when they look at, or when people look at these things, they want to see more being done, and the perception is that the actions that were promised and the timelines in which they were being promised, or the timelines that they were looking to deliver them, or the zeal around which some of these things started, have diminished, and people do not expect that. So what I see from the sentiment analysis is that yes, there are positives, but most of the negatives are what I'll call, in quotes, own goals that are slowly where the government is slowly allowing itself to be pressured because of its initial intensity around certain issues. And therefore, of course, anybody in opposition will capitalize on that and galvanize their people to drum home these things, to first of all, to make the government look like it's not really willing to do much about certain things and that it was just plain rhetoric, or to the government itself should be able to react more decisively around certain things. So, of course, we have heard some of the excuses related to the judicial, vacation window and all of that. But then also people expect far more decisiveness from the government side, and then they are beginning to see some laxity, especially with some of how these things were treated. And sometimes asking for more time would not be enough, especially in a very, very reactive society as we have now, that it reacts instantly to issues that happen on social media.
Salam, I'm grateful to you for joining. He is Vice President, Imani Africa. I've been joined by Dr. Kwame Asasante, a Senior Lecturer, Political Science Department to University of Ghana. Doc, I mean, does this signal the whittling away of the goodwill the government has enjoyed over the past months?
If you read the report, it gives you an idea that people have some concern that they've expressed. It's normal. But if you look at it against the backdrop that we are looking at a government whose mandate is 4 years, and that you are looking at the report that covers up to June, then you realize that there is more if we have more time to look at. But for this short period, not all that I can be caught.
Okay, so you think that still there's some goodwill for the government, or there's room for government to do better and rake back the goodwill it's lost?
Oh, certainly. The government has not lost goodwill. That is a fact. It must be pointed out straight away. But there are difficulties that government is facing. That is also a fact. But as to whether the government is losing goodwill or not, that one my position is that the government has goodwill. But except that there are difficulties. Difficulties in the area of the fight against galamsey, even though I acknowledge that it is not part of the report, but it's part of the difficulties the government is facing. But that also doesn't mean that the government has not put in anything. If you look at difficulties like arrest, detention, and all that, the Rambo style, I agree with the report. It gives people cause to worry. And if you look at it, people started raising concern, and now it has died down, and then we are seeing something different. That, for me, is heartwarming, because then my understanding is that the public sentiment has also gone to the doorstep of government, and government is working on that.
So must this serve as a wake-up call to government to say, well, I need to then do better in areas where the citizens are pointing me to?
Straight away, there's no doubt that every research, and of course, the research from Imani, credible research. So, government should be able to take it in its stride and work on it. But there are some of them that I have my difficulty. The issue of goodwill, I'm not sure that the government is losing their goodwill, but except that there are difficulties. That is a fact. Issue of job that people are looking for is a problem, because up to date, you realize that we have not heard much about jobs, but we have heard about the fact that some people were kicked out of their jobs, especially those who were employed by the previous administration. These are some of the problems, but it doesn't undermine totally the goodwill of the government.
Dr. Asasante, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. He is senior lecturer, University of Ghana Political Science Department. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies and also Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. Up next is Newsnight.
Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to News 9. We're live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra. The bulletin is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and on over 30 affiliates across the country. Well, tonight, UTAC's ultimatum to government: fulfill anti-Galamsey pledges and declare state of emergency in areas devastated by illegal mining or face a total shutdown of public universities.
All the health issues associated with Galamsey. University lecturers and students are not exempted from that. So this is a matter of life and death. It's when you are healthy and you are alive that thinking about going to school.
We have a reaction from government on UTAC's position. Also, Central Regional Security Coordinating Council begins interministerial collaboration to flush out all illegal miners responsible for pollution of water bodies, leading to the closure of Kwanyakon treatment plant.
If I maintain ISO at the southern part from Kwanyakon to Winneba, and somebody is destroying it upstreams, what do I do to it? So we are trying to have links with other ministers to ensure that we get things done.
Also tonight, casualties from the Tamale Technical University protests have risen to 5 after police fired gunshots, water cannons and reports of police brutality against angry students over poor sanitation, delayed certificates and alleged mismanagement of funds. We'll hear from the students who have vowed to pile on the heat until every single demand is met.
They got down and started firing warning shots, and that resulted in some of these injuries that we have seen. We are just telling them that this is a dress rehearsal.
So how many of your members are injured as we speak?
5.
We'll also hear from university management now scrambling to respond to the growing list of demands from the students.
Management is just about to get into a crisis meeting in the next 5-10 minutes. So to take a decision what to do next. But I have to indicate that this particular incident is regrettable.
Coming up in business,
oil marketing companies warn current pressure on cedi could result in fuel price increases till October this year.
And in sports,
one more Ghanaian athlete falls at the World Championships as Alex Amankwa falls short into 800-meter events.
And a bit later, Ghanaians told to brace up to pay more for fuel as prices are expected to increase by up to 5%, with the average litre of fuel expected to sell at 14 cedis, as OMCs attribute the increase to the depreciating cedi.
6% increase in the petrol and diesel, right? So it's because of the cedi depreciation. That's why we are experiencing this upsurge.
We got the latest of these and many other stories coming up tonight. You can be a part of this conversation by sending us a WhatsApp. The number is 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi will be back with more.
Small money day, big money day, where too much money day. Telecel too much money promo drop. If you dial *500#, then join them for the Telecel too much money promo inside. You will win 100 Ghana cedis cash for the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis for the weekly draws, then 1.2 million Ghana cedis for the grand draw inside. That be 1.2 million Ghana cedis. You for just reload airtime, then get points where we make you win. Make you dial *500# or go the Telecel Play up top. Then book inside riders give the Telecel too much money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo will be NLA where they regulate them for the Caritas Lottery platform top.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears. Bugging me all night long. got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me, I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana mada with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No. You look so relaxed and cheerful these days. What's your secret?
No secret, Kofi. I just sorted out my retirement with Shield Pension Trust. You should talk to them.
Retirement? There's more time before pension.
Share. The earlier you start, the better. And Shield Pension Trust makes this so easy for you. They've got amazing plans to choose from. I even signed up for the Shield Cedi Crow a day personal pension scheme, which lets you save as little as 1 Ghana Cedi a day towards your retirement. Isn't that great?
1 cedi a day.
Exactly. And the best part is, I sign up automatically on the Dachia Pomoden plan, which guarantees me medical insurance when I go on retirement.
Hey, you've convinced me. I need to sign up now.
Kofi is making a move to secure his future and health insurance when he goes on retirement. What about you? Go to Shield Pension Trust or call us now on 050-915-0253 and we'll guide you through securing your pension tomorrow. Shield Pension Trust, into the future with you.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions.
This is really good. Missing that real taste of Ghana? Your favorite kitchen is calling. Living Room Restaurant, famous for mouth-watering authentic Ghanaian dishes, has a brand new home. We've moved. Find your favorite food now at our bigger, better spot on the Trinity Avenue, Baalishi, East Legon. It's the same incredible flavors, same warm Ghanaian hospitality, just a fresh new location, and now with live band on weekends. You could also book our lovely spaces for your private event at the same venue and enjoy the same great service. Visit us today at Trinity Avenue, Baalishi, East Legon. Living Room, simply delicious.
Hello again. Tonight, the number of casualties from the Tamale Technical University protest has risen to 5. The students poured onto the campus streets to protest worsening sanitation conditions, delays in certification for graduates, and allegations of misappropriation of funds by management. Their anger boiled over as they lit car tires on fire, sending thick smoke into the air. It was at that point that police moved in, deploying water cannons and firing warning shots to disperse the crowd. Officers were also seen physically manhandling and assaulting a student in the scuffle. In one case, a warning shot shattered glass that struck a student, leaving him with a deep cut to the back of his head. That student spoke to the media after receiving stitches and bandages to his wound.
Okay, we are having our peaceful demonstration, which we want the management to carry out our programs to them, so how they can solve it. And when we got there, to our notice, police came in and they were giving one shot. So many had to run while there were ladies around us, and some too, because of the gunshot, they were afraid. So we decided to run for our lives. And on the process of running, I was also running with a lady. And then one of the gunshot they had shot over there, cut a glass. So the glass was falling on us, so I have to put the lady in front of me, then protect myself as well. And it fell on me. So I had a serious cut on my head, also my hand. So I came and got to security.
So for you, is the glasses, the broken glasses?
The glasses, broken glasses. And also, even on my head, I have to forcefully pull one out in order to minimize the pain that was in. But so far, I know of 3. I don't know of others, but I know of 3 for now.
Well, the injured students have been rushed to the hospital while their colleagues insist they will not back down until management addresses their grievances. Hassan speaks for the Graduate Students Representative Council.
I was even seen fetching water to go off the fire. But what we saw was that all of a sudden, we saw a police water cannon vehicle to the compound and started spraying water on students. And what do you expect from the students? The students also retaliated.
But I'm asking, why did you block the road, which was not part of your initial arrangement with the police?
Why did we block the road?
Right.
No, the roads were accessible. We didn't block any road because there was free flow of traffic on the roads. Reporters, they will tell you that we had an encounter with the police at the administration block in the building and not at the roadside.
So how many of your members are injured as we speak?
5. You see, when they started, releasing the water cannon spreading them with water. So that was what the police, the students started pelting stones at them. And by then, when they got there with the water cannon vehicle, they got down and started firing warning shots. And that resulted in some of these injuries that we have seen. We are just telling them that this is a dress rehearsal, and we are not going to bow down on our demands. We've been silent for far too long. We were asleep, and we have now woken up. We are telling management to wake up.
Let's go into the telephone lines now and speak to the PRO of the GRAXAG, Hassan. Thank you very much for your time this evening, Mr. Hassan. What is the status of the injured students? Still at the hospital or discharged?
Thank you so much for this opportunity once again. Based on our brief, they are out of the hospital as we speak.
And have you recorded more injured students, or everyone is fine now as we speak?
Everyone is fine now as we speak.
And of course, you are protesting this against the management of the school. Have you so far heard anything from them?
Yes, we were called into a meeting this evening, and then we told them that we have written a petition. They have received a copy of that petition, and we also expect them to respond in a written form and not to engage them like we always do.
And as you speak, are you satisfied with that meeting, with the outcome of the meeting so far?
Oh, there was no deliberation. They said they will also meet and then get back to us, because we demanded that whatever that they are going to tell us, it should be in a communique. It's in a written communique addressed to us, just as we did to them with the petition.
And has calm restored to the school now? Has calm been restored?
Certainly. There's calm in the school as we speak. Everybody is going by their duties as expected.
What is the way forward now?
Like I indicated earlier on, we are not bowing down. Our demands must be met by the university. We know it is doable. The authorities are capable of doing it, and we will not relent on that. Just as I indicated earlier on, our demands, we will not bow on it. And then we must work to address these issues as we have said.
Do you have any timelines that you've given management?
They said they will communicate to us. So we also told them at the meeting that we would need a time frame, a timeline, that they should state it in the letter. Based on what we have stated, we intend to do this consolidation and time. And then we will take it away from that place.
Thank you very much, Hassan. Hassan is the PRO for the Graduate Students Representative Council of the Tamale Teaching Technical University. And thankfully, we've been joined also on the telephone lines by Osman Mubarak Abu, who is the Director of Public Affairs at the Tamale Technical University. Grateful for your time this evening. I believe you were listening to Hassan when he was speaking. You went into a meeting with the students today. Did you come to a compromise? What was agreed upon?
I think first of all, I have to use this platform to state as a matter of fact that what happened
this morning was regrettable. Management is not happy that it happened. It should have happened in any case, but it happened. It's regrettable. We are also taking the immediate steps to engage with the students as they indicated. We went into a meeting with them. We met gently with the SRC and the GRASAC executives. They will echo their earlier position, which management thinks that there is a need for us to come together to deal with them. Some of the issues raised are low-hanging fruit that management can easily deal with as soon as possible. Some of them will take time for management to deal with them. Some of them will require external intervention for us to handle them. So we have given them every indication that there's no reason why we should not deal with their issues. So that is it. We are currently in the meeting, and I have to step out to deal with this particular interview.
So you've categorized their demands into groups, but did you inform them about this in the meeting?
When there's some issue, there's a need for us to profit. Yesterday we engaged them in the month. Fortunately, the meeting was not successful. Later in the day, somewhere around 5 o'clock, we officially communicated back to them for them to come back for us to continue to discuss the issue that was raised. Unfortunately, they declined the invitation. And this month, we had to witness what happened. So we are engaging them. And we have to, during the meeting, we need to reassure them that, look, they are the reasons why we are staff of the university. Without them, we have no university. And we have a responsibility to ensure that we offer them the best of education, because we're in a competitive world. So if you produce half-baked graduates, you come out and will suffer in the job market. So the concerns that are raised, most of them are legitimate, but we also need some time to deal with those that have external factors. Those that are within our capacity, we deal with them. And also some of the issues that they have raised, they are abstract. If you accuse management of being autocratic, it's difficult for management to say, okay, fine, we will not be autocratic. We need to sit down and assess why the attitude of management, why the student management to be autocratic. If you mention the issue of sanitation, poor washrooms, no water, poor lighting, these are visible things that we can see. You can say, okay, fine, within the shortest possible time, you'll be able to fix A, B, C, D. If you talk about poor road network, construction of roads doesn't fall within the purview of university administration. That is another agency's work. So we have categorized their concerns, legitimate, but we need to continue to engage with them, engage with other external institutions.
So why did management wait for that long for it to get to this extent? As you've rightly mentioned, for example, the fixing of the washrooms, that's within your purview that you can handle. Why did they have to take such scaffold before management said that, okay, we've heard you, we're going to resolve it?
See, in administration, corporate governance, a lot of issues come up. And sometimes you have to prioritize some of them. And sometimes somebody will have to prompt you again that, look, that's this thing, we need to step up the game. So like I said, if we had had a successful meeting with them, we could have ironed out those that can easily be done, those that require time, those that require external intervention. But that doesn't happen. That is why in my earlier remarks, I said, look, what happened is regrettable. There's no justification for that. We need to up our game. We are in a competitive environment. We must make our university competitive. And our students are those who are supposed to go out there and say, look, Summer Central University is the best. And it's also good that they are awake. We need active students to keep management on track. I'm sure if other institutions, students have, they are alert as our students are, we will have better institutions in our country. So it's regrettable. It shouldn't have happened, but it happened. That's why we are canceling the meeting to see how best we can iron out this meeting.
When I spoke to the GRACSAG president a while ago, he did mention that you've not given them any timelines to resolve the issues that they've tabled before you. You're telling me that the meeting obviously hasn't concluded. Do you think that the meeting will end with some timelines for the students to assure them that these ones we're going to work within a week or two or a month possibly to resolve them? Are you going to assure them with timelines?
That's exactly what I said, that meeting in progress. We have categorized, look, those that can easily be sorted out within the shortest tomorrow, 2 weeks or 1 week. And we will exactly communicate to them that, look, A, B, C, D, within this time period, you will get results.
Okay.
Get A, B, within this period, this one, you have to help us appeal to external factors. Maybe when the opposition comes, they can help us talk to the president to the big push project to the university. So it takes to tango. They will need to help us to help them. Even though sometimes bureaucracy is so happen, but we need to step up at least all these things we avoid. It affects the progress of the university, and it is not for our image.
Okay. Osman Mubarak Gabu, thank you very much. He's the Director of Public Affairs at the Tamale Technical University. Away from the northern region, let's talk about fuel, because fuel prices are poised to take another hit, with predictions pointing to a potential 5% hike in the coming days. Well, this surge could push the average price of a litre of fuel to around 14 cedis, adding to the financial strain on households and businesses already wrestling with soaring living costs. A CEO of the oil marketing companies, Dr. Riverson Opon, says the surge is being driven largely by the weakening Ghana cedi against major international trading currencies, which has made fuel imports more expensive. Well, with global market prices also showing signs of volatility, the combined effect is set to filter directly to the pumps.
We are experiencing an upwards in outlook forecast for this window. We started today actually, 16th September. We witnessed the forecast of about less than 1% increase in the fuel. I mean, most of the fuels prices, right? That's the PMS and AGO. So you should be wondering why we're looking at 4 to 6% increase in the petrol and diesel, right? So it's because of the cedi depreciation. That's why we are experiencing this upsurge. I'll call it marginal. Because we've seen 15% increase in this country before. So 3 to 5% is something that is marginal. Though I think the worry in the market has to do with the consistency in increase for the past 3 windows. So this is the third time fuel prices are increasing because of depreciation.
Well, for ordinary Ghanaians, the impact could be immediate and far-reaching. Commercial drivers may adjust transport fares, meaning commuters in Accra, Kumasi and other cities could soon pay more for daily rides to work and school. But is an increase in transport imminent? Well, Abbas Imoro Ibrahim is the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union.
In fact, we normally come up with any upward adjustment justifying why we are coming up from here to there. We have to justify the increment of the lorry fares by indicating the new changes, the effect it has, and the current economic situation, the effect it also has on us. Then we change the fare from which percentage to which percentage. But for now, the increment has to come. We already see the pass which went up has never experienced any reduction. We said that we've agreed that those in authority should come back to the road tolls.
Well, let's go on to the telephone lines again and speak to Dr. Riverson Upon, who is the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Grateful for your time this evening. 3 consecutive windows. We've seen 3 consecutive adjustment in prices. Certainly, Ghanaians should be worried.
That's true.
You say that it's going up to 14 Ghana cedis at the pump. With the current trend that it's going, do you see more upward adjustment in the coming windows?
So you see, we are actually operating in a very deregulated market, and I've heard people lamenting and blasting the government for increasing the price of fuel. I think the education needs to sink in well. Let the public understand that the government has no control over the fuel prices. In the same way, I urge our government officials to stop making certain statements, because I heard one politician making a comment today, and I felt very sad. We are operating in a crazy market, and the 2 variables that will determine the pump price, when all things are being equal, that is making levies and taxes constant, is the international benchmark price and the dollar rate to the cedi. Like I said, the flat price has been stable and marginally increased or dropped intermittently from time to time, but is the dollar rate that today is determining the pump price. Whether or not things will go bad or good, I believe the Minister of Finance and the Bank of Ghana should be talking now, because a decision was made when the reverse of what you see today happened, and therefore we urge them to do the needful, just so that the other Ghanaian will benefit from an affordable fuel price.
Okay. Do you think it's about time the 1 Ghana cedi levy that was put on fuel be scrapped? Looking at the way prices are going up.
I think that will be a legislative act, and that will be a policy-making tool to be decided by the government of Ghana. Even if not scrapped, I believe the sunset clause that we asked for should be discussed now, okay? Because ideally, like I said, nobody here, not you and I, not the president, and nobody can control the international benchmark price. That's a fact. And then secondly, the dollar rate and the cedi depreciation is obviously something that I believe the government can do something about it. But if it goes out of hand, then we need to revisit certain levies that has been applied to the fuel price. Because to be fair, if you pick a 1 liter today and look at the cost of it, you're looking at 25% going to levies and costs to regulators and government indirectly, you know. And then SREF, which is the product itself, taking about 70%. My members, which is all marketing companies and LPG marketing companies, are fighting for just 5%. You know, so we can at least go back to the oil marketing companies to reduce their prices. Today, there's too much competition. the market due to the number of OMCs and L2GMCs. You know, and the number of the number of filling stations. So, I mean, it's up to the government to probably look at the pricing components.
Okay.
And probably, if things, I mean, for me, I think I'm looking for the next window, should the prices go up, and I believe we're going to have a discussion with the government.
Okay, Dr. Riverson Opon, thank you very much. He's the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Well, let's now bring in Abbas Moro, who is the Public Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. Grateful for your time this evening. Somewhere in August, we saw a group of drivers insisting that they were going to increase fares. Now that prices of fuel have gone up for 3 consecutive windows, do you think that this will be justification enough to say that you are considering an increase in fares? Hello, Mr. Imoro, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yes. I was saying that somewhere in August, a group of commercial drivers insisted that they were going to increase the prices of the commercial services, and it was later put on hold. And now we are seeing that the prices of fuel are more expensive now than it was back then. Do you think that this will or should be enough justification that you're going to say that you consider increasing your fares?
I would say yes and no. Whenever fuel prices are being increased, we immediately don't come out and say we have increased or we are immediately going to increase lorry fares. What we do is we try to justify whatever percentage we add on the fare. We have to go back and have a look at where we were coming from, where we are now. You remember, it wasn't one-time reduction which brought us to the 15% reduction. But it took us some time from 17 cedis to some pesos to 12 cedis, some pesos, before it has changed and start climbing. So we normally take our time and come up with whatever decision. We try to justify it fairly. So today it will be very early for me to say something about it. Don't forget that we, the operators, have agreed that they should reintroduce the rotos. We were even expecting before this day that it will come, then we'll add something and something to it. Then whenever we come out, it will sound quite reasonable in the ears of everybody. So you will definitely hear from us, but not immediately.
That means there's no cause for concern yet for communities.
For now, yes.
Okay, Abbas Imoro, thank you very much for your time this evening. He is the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. And George Wiafe is here with the latest in business. George, what are we talking about?
Well, we still have something from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies that are warning that the current pressure on the city could result in fuel price increases in the coming months. And Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama attributed the consistent decline in inflation over the past months to tight monetary measures as fiscal consolidation and better food prices. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Mr. Insurance claim no.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite wachi joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
No. We are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying reset to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Munsaka.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school, a farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Are you clapping? Are you giving God the glory? Hallelujah! Every day you wake up shouting, my business is not moving. Customers are not coming. But look, my brother, my sister, who are you deceiving? Have you smiled today? Do you have the confidence to smile? Your face alone is chasing people away. Yeah! We all know that the problem is not a spiritual problem. The problem is a dental problem. She was saying, use Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste to remove yellow. Somebody shout amen.
Craft your smile with Pepsodent Charcoal. It removes stains and whitens teeth. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. Money we define every day and night. Mama, Dada keep on hustling for the family. The luckiest. Last time 712 hash. You can win some cash. You can be the luckiest with 1 CD. Luckiest with 5,000. The luckiest. The teacher got the market woman. You can be the luckiest. Oh, the luckiest. Luck is everywhere, for everyone. You can be the luckiest. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere, yeah, for everyone. Yeah. Star 712 hush. Luck is everywhere. Luck is everywhere. Oh, tell me, are you feeling lucky? Because I'm feeling lucky. Because I'm feeling like the ultimate. That how we go win. If I win, you win. You could be the luckiest.
Hey, Dini Ramsa.
ɛyɛ stay soft concentrate fabric softener I was sachet mu yɛhyɛ ne de sɛ bɛyi hwam ɛtena wo kyɛ ne hwa ne tena wo kyɛ na obia bɛbi sɛ ho asɛm da mu ne nyinaa sɛ deɛ ne hwam sɛ yi fɛ kwan yɛ sim biara so siesie wo ntareɛ use stay soft a ne hwa ne tena wo kyɛ na ne bɔ so da fam koraa ɛyɛ fabric softener ɛyɛ ne ɛsɛ sa choose to stay soft ne hunu so so yɛ no FDA adi adwade nkrato yɛ ato mu.
Sasso, si come tonton preko. Sasso, si come tonton preko. Edrana drami ne buseshe. Yeah, how can see any malaria? Minya me kone me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Come tonton preko. Sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Come tonton preko. Sasso, come tonton preko. Na ni sham ne die demo stronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies have warned that the current pressure on the city could result in prices going up further in the coming months. Crude oil prices have been dropping on the international market over the past months, a move that should have resulted in prices going down locally. However, due to the recent pressure on the Ghana city, consumers may have to pay more at the pumps. Chief Executive of the Chamber, Dr. Rivison Upon, says the outlook is not favorable for consumers.
I think with where we are, you will know that we've moved from 17 to 10, and now we're back to 14. I believe the Ministry of Finance is looking at it, and the government should be concerned at this moment with certain policy or political decisions that were made so that we can revisit some topics. And also look at the pricing mechanism to see what variables within the pricing model, price breakdown could be out to, make the oil, the crude oil product prices a bit affordable. In March, April, we discovered that there'll be a plateau prices range for ice and then flat, and that's what we are seeing today. And like I said, until we hit October, where the winter factor will come in, the flat prices should be stable. Unless there's an unforeseen war or hiccup somewhere.
Dr. Rivison Upon is the chief executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Meanwhile, majority of the oil marketing companies are yet to review their prices today as expected. However, we understand that competition is seen as a major factor why they are yet to adjust their prices. The government is optimistic that commercial production on the country's inland oil area, that is the Volta Basin, could commence soon. It is coming after government announced that the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation could commence drilling on the fresh oil wells before the end of the third quarter of next year. So Yusuf Suleiman is a technical advisor of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition.
And so for GNPC and the partners like Petroleum Commission, supported by the Minister of Energy, to champion this cause in going forward to drill such an excellent well or such an excellent thing, it will pave way for the production stage to come in record time. And bear in mind, if you don't explore, you can't produce. So one will explore by drilling these wells, and they prove, reasonably, and the reserves are okay. We're going to go forward to do the drilling. And I can say that I'm very confident with the data that GNPC is having. When the drilling is done, I think it will be a game changer within our energy space, especially the upstream.
Technical advisor at the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Dr. Yusuf Suleiman. Now, Chief Executive of Petro Solar Energy, that is Dr. Michael Bazenbob, said the company is ready to take advantage of government's new 24-hour economy program. Speaking at a decade of excellence award, he adds Petro Solar is also expanding to new regions to help create more jobs.
We're excited that government is rolling out this. That means there will be a lot of activity during the night, and we will be excited to implement our 24-hour policy. We want to always be there to serve the customers, because we know as a brand, we say we energize dreams. And energizing dreams means that if you wake up at night and you want to execute any agenda you have, Petrosol must be there to support you. We are spreading to regions that we are not in. Over the next 5 years, you see expansion into areas where we are not present at the moment. We intend hiring. In fact, even as we speak now, we have an ad out there to hire some new staff.
Chief Executive of oil marketing firm Petrosol, Michael Bozumbil. Now, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama has jumped to the defense of the bank's inflation targeting and monetary tightening model. The country's inflation has dropped consistently since December 2024 to reach 11.4% last month. Speaking at the opening of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, Dr. Johnson Esiama noted that the development shows that these measures, together with fiscal programs and other initiatives, are getting results.
Recent PMI readings, alongside our business and consumer surveys, point to improving sentiments. On the price front, colleagues, headline inflation fell further to 11.5% in August, its lowest since October 2021, and this was supported by a tight monetary stance, the fiscal consolidation that has been sustained, and better food supplies, as well as core measures and expectations that also continue to react. Colleagues, external buffers have strengthened, and for the first 8 months of the year, Ghana recorded a trade surplus of $6.2 billion.
Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama, now Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Ampemnyako, has assured the ministry will support the push with the consideration of a public procurement and supply bill. The bill is expected to regulate procurement in the public sector. Speaking at the National Procurement and Supply Chain Conference, the Deputy Minister added that government would also include environmental sustainability governance in the bill to boost green economy.
I am pleased to confirm that Cabinet is currently considering this bill. The Ministry of Finance will work with Parliament and the lead sponsor, the Ministry of Education, and all stakeholders to ensure its passage. Because of the repeated statements that I have heard in this auditorium about this bill, as soon as I leave here, I will place a call to Honorable Haruna to push this for us. The executive will do our part and send it to Parliament. You are targeting the end of this year. Parliament will come back sometime in October and rise early December, thereabout, for Christmas break.
Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Nyako Ampemna, as part of measures to provide robust light and heavy-duty vehicles to meet the need of businesses, Triton Motors, authorized dealers of Jack vehicle brands, have unveiled a new range of Jack vehicles. Now, speaking at the program to outdoor the vehicles, Chief Executive of Jack Motors, Gyasi, revealed that the company is willing to offer flexible purchasing agreements to its clients.
We are targeting essentially everybody. We have something for everybody. We have something for the distribution companies in Accra and in the other cities. We have vehicles for special use, and obviously with the heavy commercial stuff. So these are for construction and mining operations. So essentially everybody in town. And as I said earlier, we do have the specialized vehicles. Okay, so there are vehicles that inculcates crane system on it, water tankers, hydrants, fuel tankers, ambulances, anything and everything. It can be done on a Jack chassis. And later on, something we are not discussing today, even though it's a commercial thing, we've already signed an agreement with the bus section of Jack. So we are fine-tuning our model and our business plan for buses also.
Jihad Hijazi is the chief executive of Jack Motors, and that's all for business on Newsnight. And it's time for sports and Achuways.
Yeah, George, and let's head to Tokyo because Ghana's Alex Amankwa has failed to advance in the men's 800-meter event at the ongoing World Athletics Championships. He clocked a time of 1 minute 45.08 seconds to place 8th in Heat 7 and will now miss the semi-finals. The race that was won by former world champion Donovan Brazier of the USA in a time of 1 minute 44.66 seconds, followed closely by Slimane Mola of Algeria. Here's Amankwa speaking to Joy Sports' Fentio Tahiru Fentio after the race.
It was shit. I mean, excuse my language, but it was awful. This is probably my worst time.
I've been a single parent for 20 years. I have 4 kids taken care of, 3 boys and a girl. My last one is in Legon, level 300. My brother, my first son completed tech and is still at home, not working. He is not working because I have no connection anywhere. Me myself, I have no certificates. I have no one to employ because my father has no connections. Look at that.
Just for that, but essentially Alexa Mankwa is out of running for the semi-final of the ongoing World Athletics Championships. We cannot hear him now.
It affects my kids at home.
Apologies for that again. In the UEFA Champions League, Arsenal have just beaten Athletic Club by 2-0. PSV Eindhoven have also lost at home to Saint Union Geloa of Belgium. In 9 minutes, Benfica will play at home to Karabakh. Juventus will be at home to Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid will play Olympic Marseille, while Tottenham Hotspur play Villarreal.
That's quite interesting. Actually, which team do you support?
Unfortunately, I'm a Manchester United fan.
Oh,
yes.
That makes the two of us. Oh, sorry. I am a former member.
Former member?
Yeah, former member. How do you think the team is going?
There's a reason you're a former member.
I mean,
the performance of the team is why you are a former member.
Well, I've been a former member of the team for a long time, so many years.
How long?
I think since the days of Ten Hag.
That was just a little over a year ago.
Anyway, thank you very much for bringing us the latest in sports at you, Tamaklo. Well, let's bring you more stories tonight because hundreds of drivers and traders say their very source of income is at risk. As they say, their income is being threatened by private developers under the full glare of the Railway Authority with the involvement of the Achimwenchi chief, Dasibre, Dr. Asumadu Nyakwapia. Well, earlier today, the protesters marched through the streets of Accra, ending at the Jubilee House, where they presented a petition demanding urgent government action. Well, listen to some of the traders express frustration about the development to my colleague, Stephen Mensah.
I've been a single parent for 20 years. I have 4 kids taken care of, 3 boys and a girl. My last one is in Legon, level 300. My brother, my first son completed tech and is still at home, not working. He is not working because I have no connection anywhere. Me myself, I have certificates. I have no one to employ me because my father has no connections. Look at us. This is our source of livelihood. What we are saying is we are pleading with the government. It's to get us a place to sell. Ghanaian women, 80% of us are single mothers. Over 80% of us are single mothers. My brother, what do you want me to do? It affects me, it affects my kids at home.
The government land does not belong to you. So we are pleading with the authorities. We've always been saying GPRT will believe in dialogue than violence. Now that the population is growing, it is our hope and belief that the government will look for another lorry park for us. Here we are losing the one that we have.
Car accidents keep happening on these roads. Not long ago, a similar Metro Mass accident left some victims with amputated legs and others with severe injuries. We are pleading with the government to construct a proper market for these traders and the lorry station for us drivers so that we can earn a living. Right now, we have nowhere to park or load our passengers. We are therefore pleading to the government to come to our aid.
So those were the frustrations of the protesters. We can now listen to Bridget Otu, who is a member of government communication team who received the petition on behalf of government.
You made a statement that I so love. You said that you want to engage in dialogue and not violence. And in the history that she recounted, she recalled that as far back as 1985, you've occupied the land, and in 1996 for the Containers Association. So there's a history there. So I want to first of all say he sees this as very serious, and he will attach all the seriousness this deserves. I will go in there and submit it. Wait for the Chief Justice. When they come, then I'll hand it personally to them, so you know that the President will see your petition and he will attend to it as well. So thank you first of all for honoring the President. Thank you for not engaging in violence, and thank you for bringing this to us.
Right, you had there Bridget Otu is a part of government communications, received the petition on behalf of government. Well, we can now go onto the telephone lines and speak to some of the protesters who protested earlier today and ended at the Jubilee House. We have Diana Nyakupa. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Have you had the opportunity to engage with relevant authorities for a possible resolution to this issue beyond sending your petition to the Jubilee House today?
Please come again.
I'm asking if you've had the opportunity to engage with relevant authorities for a possible resolution beyond sending your petition to the Jubilee House earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the outcome? What happened? Who did you engage?
You said, who did we engage?
Yes.
Yes, we met Bridget Otu, who is the presidential staffer. He was the one that they asked her to come to the petition. And he has assured us that he will see through that the petition will get into the hands of the authorities. So we are just waiting that we get back to us as soon as possible.
You've attached a lot of urgency to this particular issue. What's your next action if this petition is not addressed as soon as possible, as you state?
For now, let's wait what will happen. If nothing has happened, we will say hit on the road until the time that they will listen to us.
In the meantime, though, how are you surviving? How are you coping? How are you holding up?
Oh, it was only today that we sent the petition. So we are waiting. And we are still there, that we are working. But all that we are trying to let the government know that we will not allow anybody for now that the person will come and take us from that place as we have been doing it, the previous season. This time we are not going to allow that. This is not the first time, the second time, the third time that they have been doing these things to us. But for this one, we are not going to allow them. And we will fight with our last drop of blood. Because we are also Ghanaians. You understand? It is not only one person that voted for the government. It is not one person who has to enjoy. If you have your money and you think that you are looking for a place to build shops, just go and look for another land. Not the one that there are people occupying the land. That is where you want to come. And this thing has been, this thing has been going on in this country. And it's like nobody is talking about it. You'll be there, then they will bring police, they will bring soldiers to come and harass the people, then they will take you off of the place.
Okay, I'm grateful for your time this evening. Well, let's bring you more stories tonight because Ghana's public universities are on the brink of a potential shutdown as the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, up in arms in their fight against illegal mining. Well, UTAG is demanding President John Dramani Mahama declare a targeted state of emergency in areas ravaged by the environmental scourge, which has claimed lives, decimated water bodies and ravaged forests. Well, Galamsey has destroyed over 2.5 million hectares of forest cover, caused a 35% rise in respiratory diseases in mining areas. We can now listen to Professor Mamudu Akutuku, who tells Joy News that lecturers and students cannot focus on academics amidst such destruction.
For us, we believe that something drastic has to take place for us to be able to effectively deal with this devastation. And so, whatever we said, we still stand by it. We are having our biennial congress just the end of the month. And so, a final decision as to how to proceed will be made on that point.
Meanwhile, the Central Regional Security Coordinating Council has begun collaboration with other regions to flush out all illegal miners on water bodies and forest reserves. Well, the Galamsey activities of illegal miners have led to the closure of Kwanyako treatment plant, resulting in severe water shortage in 10 districts. The Central Regional Minister Eko Penyi Ochre has been speaking to journalists in Parliament, giving update on what it is doing to address the challenge.
If we are talking about making sure that the water bodies are clean, if I maintain ISO at the southern part from Kwanyako to Winneba, and somebody is destroying it upstreams, what do I do to it? So we are trying to have links with other ministers to ensure that we get things done.
And that's how we end News 9 tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi, have a good evening.